Hey YouTube, Appalachian Survivalist here. I had a suggestion from a viewer, Mike Huff. He advised with my dyeing of the ACU to try something different. So we're going to try his ingredients and see how it works today. Basically, get his ingredients were 3 gallons of boiling water. You add 2 tablespoons of cocoa, 1/2 cup of vinegar, 1/2 cup of salt, and then the apple green RIT dye, which my lighting's awesome. So apple green RIT dye, and this, and he said 4 fluid ounces. He actually said 3 gallons of boiling water. So what I'm doing, I'm doubling it up, and that'll give us 8 ounces of this. So we're going to do 8 ounces of the RIT dye, and as you'll notice, I'm wearing gloves because this stuff gets all over you. There we go. So I'm going to do 8 ounces of the RIT dye. Going in. Okay. I'm going to stir that up real good with my trusty. Now, my water, I cheated. I used the boiling water out of my boiler because it got up to about 40 degrees here in Appalachia, and I had to shut the boiler down, but I still had high enough temperatures that I went ahead and stole this water. So it's a little rusty, so I'm not going to use as much cocoa as what he suggested I might. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I got my dye mixed in. Now I'm going to do my vinegar, and he suggests 1/2 cup of vinegar, so I'm going to do 1 cup because I'm doubling the recipe. So here's 1/2 and another 1/2. And now 1/2 cup of salt. And another 1/2 cup of salt. Okay, then he suggests 1 or 2 tablespoons of cocoa. So I think I'm just going to do, I'll do all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, he says chocolate cocoa. So I got Dutch hot chocolate mix. Hot cocoa mix. So I'm hoping that'll work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Worst case scenario, this whole thing doesn't work. But all I'm out is a little bit of dye, a little bit of water. It smells wonderful. Let's get this all mixed up. Make sure that salt solution's in there real good. Okay. So let's give her a test here. I'm going to test it with one of my old patrol caps. Got an old ACU patrol cap here. So that'll give us a good test. So let's see what we get here. Let's set there for a few. I'm also going to test, while I'm working on it, one of my, I bought these years ago on Sportsman's Guide. They're British DCU combat shirt. It's mostly brown. I'm going to see if this will give it some of that green. See what happens. Oh, and ours is actually a pretty good color there. So that's the green that it turns out. I'm fairly impressed with that. That is a little bit of a darker color green than what I got before. Yeah, I think I like the way that looks. It's more of a, it's got a little bit more brown to it. We'll let it soak a little longer, see what we get. Okay, so here we are. I've got everything out of the hot water and the dye. I just put this handle back on here for a good comparison there. And we'll see how this looks when we're done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put all this in the washer, put it on a cold rinse. And that cold rinse is going to set that dye in. And then we'll put her in the dryer and see how she goes. I'm really happy with the way that desert turned out. That almost looks like multicam. We'll compare it once it's done too. And I'm gonna do a little bit of mopping when we're done. So, I'm going to put this down. Going to go to cold wash. And here we go. Okay, so here we have the ACU and the dyed ACU. Slowly making our way over to multicam OCP. Kind of gives us a, I put these here as a reference so you can see my goal was to take it from the terrible OC or the UCP, Universal Camouflage Pattern, which is the ACU, and slowly make it closer to the OCP, and that's the multicam. So as you can see here, I think it kind of works pretty well there. Looks a lot better than the ACU, and thank you, Mike Huff. Thank you very much for the advice. I did your recipe there, and it seemed to kind of help, and I even re-dyed some of the older stuff to kind of see if that would improve, and it really improved up here. This right here was almost a gray when I had done it the first time, so this time I re-dyed it, kind of brought it out a little bit, made it a little more green. I put the marine digital here for comparison, but my biggest thing that I'm really proud of is this British desert camouflage, which is the British DPM, and it looks really good. As far as once I dyed it and the green came out, kind of took the place of a lot of that real tan, that light tan, and made it a lot closer to the multicam combat shirts. So these are combat shirts as well. And then I actually had some marine desert, a combat shirt, and a set of pants from True Spec. And I actually was talking to the wife and said, we don't have a desert environment around here, so why would we just continue to have desert gear? So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and dye it and see how it works. Actually, I really like it, especially in comparison to the multicam. I think it really blends well. I'll do, as the time comes and the weather improves a little bit, we'll do some videos on in the surroundings, but I'm really impressed with this. Really like how everything turned out. And again, Mike Huff, thank you for the advice. But you can see huge difference from the ACU all the way over to the multicam. Makes a big difference. So As usual, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And as always, God bless.